Hello and welcome back to the Yoga Life channel. Thanks for tuning in with us again. This time we're going to have a look at some dating advice, dating and self-love. Originally I wanted to call this this video How to Change Your Partner, but you'll see what this is all about and how that ties in with dating and self-love. Dating should be a fun, a happy, a flirtatious, awesome experience. But more often than not, when I talk to my girlfriends or when I remember what it was like for me to be in the dating world, it was actually a time of headaches, of stress, of wondering, how do I ever find the right person? Is there anyone out there who's right for me? And then when we were starting to see someone, often wondering, how do I have to be for that person? Does he like me? Does he not? Is he going to call me? Is he not? And it can become this whole massive headache. So rather than it being such a stressful experience, how can we make this into an experience that we actually enjoy and that actually serves us in the long run by bringing the right person in our lives and also keeping all the wrong people out? The problem is, though, then once we are getting to the next stage, that we can potentially progress too quickly with someone and let them into our life before we are actually ready and have made a clear, honest assessment about whether they are the right person for us or not. So that's another thing to look at. How can we make sure that we can be discerning before we let another person into our lives, rather than bringing them close and then trying to change them as we go and get really frustrated when they are not living up to our expectations. And it always kind of comes back down to expectations, doesn't it? Are they met? Are they not met? Are we happy? Are we not happy? So here are a couple of steps to avoid disappointment when you are dating and hopefully manage your own expectations and that of other people of you. Number one is give yourself time between relationships. I see it over and over again that people barely out of one relationship are looking for the next thing, are looking for the next person to validate them, to make them happy, to make them feel those butterflies again. However, what you should really be doing is take time after one relationship has ended and really tune in back with yourself. Go back, look at yourself, who you are, what it is that you need, what it is that you enjoy, what it is that you love, what are the things, and when nobody else sways your opinion or persuades you to do something that you actually really enjoy doing. What is good for you? How do you like eating? How do you like spending your days? What do you really want to prioritize? What are hobbies that you want to really pursue and enjoy? What are all these little things that really matter to you that you don't give yourself the time to explore when you are in a relationship? So really give yourself the time. The more you then get to know yourself, the more aware you are of your own needs and desires, the more you can set clear criteria about who the person is that you want to bring into your life next. So in order to do so, one thing I can advise you that I did years ago was make a list of the criteria that are really important for you from another person in a relationship. Who does that person need to be? For some people, it's looks or height or things like that. More often than not, it's about the qualities that that person has, the values that they live in their life, the way they show up, and potentially things like, do they want children or not? Do they want to live in the same city that you live in? Do they want to live in the countryside? Do they love traveling or are they homebodies? Like all those little things. Get clear criteria of what it is that you want and that's good for you, so that you can find a person that matches that, rather than, again, bringing someone in your life and then having a broken heart because your expectations aren't being met. Just like having this positive must-have list, I would also recommend having a knockout criteria list, because just as much there might be things that you are absolutely not willing to accept in your life. I know that for me, for example, somebody who drinks heavily or takes drugs would be an absolute knockout criteria. I wouldn't allow this in my own life and much less in my son's life at this stage. So also be clear on what it is that if you see a certain behavior, if you see certain traits, certain things that they want or that they need, that you are not willing to comply with, that this is a clear no. With those two lists and the clarity about what it is that you want to bring in your life, you can then define clear boundaries, which is another step for you. What are your boundaries? It's almost like you're willing to become your own gatekeeper. And this is where self-love really kicks in, because the loving thing to do for you is to allow a person who is good for you to enter your life, while at the same time respectfully and humbly and kindly decline all those other people who might be interested just for like physical attraction or the fun of being around you, but who you know will not make you happy in the long run. What used to happen 100, 200, 500 years ago would be that there would be a family, that there would be chaperones who would look after you and decide, is this person the right person? Do they meet the standards that we have in our family? But this doesn't happen anymore, and thank God we get to make our own choices. But having this gatekeeper function is actually something that can really serve you. And by allowing yourself to have those boundaries and keep people out who aren't right for you, you're also keeping the space available in your life, that place right next to you, for the person who is good for you. That was something that for me was really important, where I used to say to people like, look, I respect you, I appreciate you, you're a wonderful person, but there are certain things that I'm looking for that I don't see in you, and I love myself enough to keep that place next to me available for the person who I trust will show up. And I'd rather wait, I'd rather be alone longer than having this place taken by someone who I know I might not be fully happy with. So then when the right person shows up, it kind of becomes a whole drama. So love yourself enough to have clear boundaries. The other thing that I learned only a couple of months ago that really made a big difference in my own life was to have a second list about who I want to be in the relationship that I'm looking for. So with the clarity of knowing who you want to bring in your life, flip the coin and think about, who do you want to be in the relationship with that kind of person? How do you want to be able to show up? How do you want to be able to communicate, for example? And what are you willing to do? And to which length are you willing to go also in being a match for that ideal partner that you imagine having? When you then are starting to enter a relationship, it's actually really fun to notice in yourself how you are implementing all those things. And sometimes you will find that there are elements where you feel you're not quite ready yet for that partner, for that relationship, and where you need to work on yourself and tweak your own behaviors, probably let go of some limiting beliefs, etc., to be willing to be at that level where you can meet that partner fully and show up in all your glory, for them to also be the best for you. In essence, the idea is to not go into a relationship with the expectation of changing the other person. When we're entering a relationship purely based on infatuation, on hormones, on the excitement of somebody wanting us, that's not an incredibly good basis. The more you can think clearly while you're still not hormonal and not infatuated, and be clear on what it is that you need, the more you can enter a relationship and then allow the person to be who they truly are, because they meet your criteria, without wanting to change them. Because the truth is, we all come with baggage. You do, I do, and our potential partners do as well. So rather than criticizing their baggage, trying to tweak them and to make them into someone they are not, I'd advise you don't change your partner in the relationship, but you change partners during the dating scene when you notice that they are not quite right for you. So happy dating, enjoy yourself, make sure that you find that right person. All the best for you. If you have further dating advice in the regard of dating and self-love, please feel free to drop comments in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content, and ring that little bell button so that you're getting updates when we're uploading new videos. Thank you very much, and see you soon.